You're a guest? Come on, sit down, have a seat. I was born in Ohio. I was in Colorado. This is my great Oh, excellent. How are you? Go find a table and sit. Find a table. There should be one with enough chairs for kids. And then adults can sit separately.
I've yet to beat my match there.
Does it start with a D? Start with an M? Start with a vowel. Does it start with like some vowels? Oh, was it from the... Does it start with a vowel? Again with the eyes.
I need to try
What we're going to ask you to do is, it's about that time. It's about 8:15. We're going to, this is Dr. Ghazala. She will lead the sisters or the ladies over to the masjid. She'll show you where you're supposed to break the fast. And then this brother right here, I'm having a senior moment here. He will lead the brothers over and show you where you're supposed to be to break the fast. And you'll see other brothers. So we're actually going to do that now. So we'll let the ladies line up first. That's how we do things here. So go ahead, ladies, if you'll line up at the door.
Okay, guys.
And while you're lining up, just so you know what's going to go on, we're going to go over and break the fast. And then if you would like to join us with the prayer, you may do so. There will be a space for you to do that. Otherwise, you can come back over here if you'd like to, and just hang out in that area until you see us coming back.
I've been expanding lots of Turkish music now, not just Turkish.
And head over to the break the fast, please. Thank you.
Walk through a the mosque I go to. You like on the movies? South, yeah.
Now is from South India. South India. Where are you from?
And also in this book that I read.
Stop raining.
Oh no.
Too many cars around. Just too light for you, man. You gotta get heavier items.
You take a right? Friday night? Brother, sunset? Friday
Abraham, we're doing to China. How was it, brother?
If everyone would try to get a seat. And if you came with someone and you don't see them, let us know so we can send out our special police force to look for them, so we can get them back over here. Is anyone missing? There's a table up here, and we don't charge extra if you want to sit near the front. It's a table right up here, folks, if you're standing. Ladies, if you'd like to come, there's a table up front. Those ladies in the back who are standing, there's a table right here. Dr. Deba, could you direct those ladies that are standing? We have a table right here. We don't charge extra for the one in the front. If there's any vacant,
He's very social. My daughter would
any vacant chairs at your table, could you raise your hand so we can give up some seats? There's two here, right? We also have 2 seats right here for anyone who's looking for chairs. We have 2 seats here. Okay, what I'm going to ask you to do, if the men could come on my left side of the table and the women on this side of the table. So we'll have men on one side, ladies on the other. We can serve quicker and have our program. So have at it. Everybody heard me? Ladies on my left side of the table, men on the right, my right, your left. Please go ahead and eat.
राइस तो उधर चाहिए उधर रख दूं ये वही राइस है उधर नहीं नहीं बिरयानी बता दो मैं उधर रखना उसको ये सादे चावल कौन बता तुम लोग I will help you with the number table. Please over there on that table.
Those people that are here that would like to go and pray, they would be able to go and pray. So on behalf of the Islamic Central Orlando, the Jama Masjid, ISLAM, the Islamic Society of Leading American Muslims, we welcome all of you here tonight. And we are just very grateful. Imam Tariq joins me to welcome you here tonight. I would also like to recognize Imam Atiq, who is with us from India tonight. He's a leading authority on Islamic law in India and has taught for 35 years at the Islamic University of Natwa, India. So we're very honored to have you tonight, Sheikh. I would also like to recognize some people who said they were coming and were unable to come tonight, and those that said they were coming that made it, and then some other people that I didn't know you were here and you're here. Okay. So Jim Coffin, Executive Director of the Interfaith Council of Central Florida. I want to thank Jim for sending out messages to folks to invite them here. Did anybody come as a result of Jim Coffin's invitation tonight? Great. He made great efforts. Next year we have to be 2 days earlier so we get in the newsletter for the Interfaith Orlando. Reverend Bart Buchanan is a senior pastor of the Windermere Union Church. He was unable to make it tonight, but he called us to say he was very sorry this afternoon. I was actually getting a little fearful, and I have to think a minute before I have a senior moment. Bill Barnes, senior pastor of St. Luke's United Methodist Church, was supposed to be here tonight, and he called us this afternoon and said, I'm really sorry, but I've had a family emergency, and I won't be able to make it. Lynette Fields, who's the executive director of outreach at St. Luke's United Methodist Church, is on a camping trip with her son Jonathan, and so that's why she's not able to make it. So imagine if all those people were here tonight, we would have standing room only. I would like to acknowledge Reverend Stephen and Sonia Clifton Sullivan. Reverend Sonia Clifton, would you stand please? Oh, there she is. And there's her lovely husband. And actually, they both have their own churches. And Reverend Sonia is actually a teacher at Trinity Prep. And each semester, she brings a group of young people here to the masjid to learn about Islam. And then we feed them. So that's always fun. One of the beauties of tonight, actually, after 5 years of doing this, I'd like all of the youth, all of the people under 20 years of age that are guests tonight, please stand up. Let's give them a hand. We're very honored that you guys and young ladies came to join us tonight. Reverend Amanda Wilson from the Corpus Christi Episcopal Church in Oklahoma, Florida called me this afternoon and said, I'm really sorry, but I've had an emergency and I'm not going to be able to make it. But I believe that she fasted with us today. She had said, I'm going to fast with you whether I'm able to make it or not. Reverend Amanda, I said Reverend Amanda Wilson, so let's don't do her twice. Reverend Drew Willard and his fiancée from the villages, they actually fasted with us and prayed with us today. So they're not with us tonight, but they were with us all day in spirit. Rabbi Hillel Skolnick is in Ohio, I believe. Cleveland, right?
He was in Ohio, now he's in New York.
Now he's in New York. I can't keep up with him. But he made lots of announcements at his congregation, and of course, there are neighbors across the street, and their cantor Doug is with us tonight. Welcome, Doug. We're so happy to have you. And of course, I've known David Bottomley for how many years, David? 2 or 3 anyway. Through the Interfaith of Orlando, we're so happy to have you tonight as well. Adrian Cooperman. The Emergency Service Program Manager at Jewish Family Services of Greater Orlando. She was going to try to be with us tonight. She also sent her regrets that she was not going to be able to make it. I think this year we're battling just a little bit with those people on vacation in the month of July. So I think we did well considering the time of the year it is, and that you folks that decided to fast with us for 15 hours and a half today, let's give all of them a hand. Pastor Jim Walters also sent his regards from, let me see, it's the Ascension Lutheran Church. Hopefully I've got that right. Correct me if I make any mistakes. Pastor Brenda Straub, would you please stand? Pastor Straub, I've known her, since about 2005, I believe, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, we're so honored to have you here tonight. Thank you so much. Are there any other clergy members who I have left out? Any clergy members? Please don't be shy. Give it a try. Okay. All right. Okay. I believe, I had been told anyway, that we were going to have anywhere from about 3 to 5 Buddhists in attendance tonight. Are you here? Yes, please stand. Give them a hand, please. And Shay has actually been fasting the whole month of Ramadan. Well, the theme of tonight comes from Surah 3, chapter 3, verses 64 to 71. O people of the book, come to common terms as between us and you, that we worship none but God, that we associate no partners with him, that we erect not from among ourselves lords and patrons other than God. So we're here tonight to celebrate our commonality as the children, as you might say, or of Adam. Peace and blessings be upon him. And it's just such a blessing to see so much diversity. This year we expanded it. As you listen to me name the ministers that I named, we expanded it to more churches, and every seat is full. There are people standing in the back. So we just thank you again for being with us. And what I wanted to do is to give you a chance, if you did fast today. I was told by one youngster, Imam Sykes, please do not ask my mother to fast again, because she was very temperamental with me all day today. And I promised him I would not call any names. But he said my mother sort of adopted this Gestapo attitude today during her fast. So may God bless you for that sacrifice, and have mercy on your son at the same time. So I would like to open the mic for those that would like to share about their experience. Those of you who might have fasted today or prayed with us, if you just raise your hand, I will have someone take the mic to you. I'm not going to try to get through the crowd. Who would like to share? Okay. Would you? Thank you.
Thank you all for having me here. We are children. This has been a great experience. When I heard, actually this year I just decided that I wanted to fast during Ramadan. So it's been a great experience. Actually within the last week or so, I've come to, this thing on. I've come to the conclusion that Ramadan has definitely made me a better person. I really have a lot of compassion for people who aren't able to be able to satisfy their hunger or satisfy their personal needs, and the fact that if they have children. And it's actually making me think deeper into how I can better help my community and other women to leave a legacy that will that will carry on into the future. And it's actually helping me become a better Buddhist, where I'm more disciplined about my prayers. And I'm so excited, and thank you so much for having me.
I'd like to share about their experience today. Pastor Stroud in the back, there you go.
Hallelujah. It's certainly a joy and a blessing to be here and be with such wonderful people. I'm very truly blessed. As Imam Sykes was saying, that I first went to the Center of Peace for the building bridges and breaking bread in 2005. And the Lord has always laid upon my heart that we should have fellowship, Christians should have fellowship with Muslims, Jews, and we should all love one another and get along, and there shouldn't be any mistrust or any of that. And I preach that in my church, and I'm a believer of that. And I believe that this is God's desire to have us together as one and enjoy one another's company and learn of each other. And I know that the glorious Quran has so many wonderful things about Jesus, and it's really very exciting because he does work so many miracles. He heals the sick, he raises the dead, he cleanses the lepers, and it's glorious to know that that's also in the Quran. Amen. So I'm very blessed to be here, and I thank you for inviting me. And I think that it's these dinners that you serve during Ramadan and building bridges and breaking bread and should continue. And people will learn more and more about one another. The fear of the unknown. So many people have so many prejudices, and they should not, because this grieves the Spirit of God. I know this personally. And thank you again for inviting me. Amen.
Go ahead, please.
Greetings, everyone. When I left work today, it was pouring down raining. And I felt the devil saying to me, you don't want to go, you don't want to go. But anything that's worth being a part of, the devil's going to keep you away from. So I'm glad you all are here. I'm glad I'm here. My husband's a Muslim, I'm a Methodist, and everyone looks at me and like, how does that work? It's working, but I don't know much about the religion, and I wanted to come here because I wanted to see what it was that he experienced too, so that we can share something. And this really helped me understand more about the religion. Although he tells me about it, I wanted to be a part of it. So I'm just glad to be here, and thank you for inviting us.
As Elon alluded, I'm involved with the Interfaith Council Forum, with Jim Coffin for a few years. I think this is one time where God is smiling on all three Abrahamic faiths. In Judaism we have, actually it's also my personal credo of Psalm 133. He can do a better job of singing than I can, so I'm not even trying. Wisdom translator told how good it is for brethren to dwell together, put to music. This could be the first. Hopefully he's got a CD on or something. I'll go out on the internet and find it. It's very beautiful. This is putting those pictures into practice. As a matter of fact, Rabbi Stone opened that pocket that last time I was there a few weeks ago. Went down further down the song as well. So read the whole thing. You can find it online on music. Great. I think God is smiling on his children.
Thank you so much. Who else would like to share? Don't make me call on people now. Just kidding. Yes, someone at the far table back there, you bring him on the left, my left.
I want to thank everyone. Everyone worked so hard. Thank you very much for accepting us in your home, in your temple. It's beautiful. I had a wonderful experience because I've been going through some health issues, and I was pre-diabetic, so I was afraid I was going to be able to fast. But it's funny how God opens the doors and opens your heart and says you have to rely on me and only on me, and you'll see that everything will happen. So I did. I said, okay, Lord, in your hands. Hopefully everything will be fine. And usually by midday, I start shaking, I start sweating, I start going through all these physical changes that I need to eat. And my husband knows it already. He knows, run for the orange juice. Anyway, I didn't have to do that today. And it was just a journey, a spiritual journey that I had today, participating in this, because he was able to let me know is if we put ourselves in his hands, he takes care of everything. He takes care of you. And sometimes we're afraid to associate with other denominations, and we're afraid to know a little more, but I think that's what God wants us to do, to unite ourselves and to be able to help our brothers stand up strong. Thank you.
And who else would like to share?
Thank you so much for coming. Every single word you guys are saying is so moving, so inspiring that I can tell you. I just tell you from last year, feedback from my friends. So the people who had not come came to know from the people who came, and they were willing to come this time. So this is what we want to do. We want to get the word out, that we all can be together under one roof, talk the same thing, feel the same thing, and have the same experience. Thank you so much. We are all very, very honored to have you here. Thank you.
Just raise your hand so we can
I think another guy has to speak. Or someone to.
Reverend Sonia Clifton.
I just want to thank you for the opportunity to bring my students time and time again so that they break the stereotypes and are able to experience Muslims as real people as opposed to what they often hear in the news. And I want to take our leave because we do have class tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So not to do that rudely, but to thank you very, very, very much for having us. Not just tonight, but every time you come and spend time with us or invite us to be with you. Thank you.
I wanted to ask Imam Tarek, did he have to leave? Oh, okay, all right. He had to go over to lead the prayer, but I know that I would like for him to have spoken to you and given his beautiful words and eloquent speech that he gives, but he had to go lead the prayer. So if anybody else would like to share, I would like to just leave the mic open to make sure, give you a few more minutes if anybody wants to share. We didn't hear from any of the men, and I'm guessing that you guys are just so tired from fasting you can't talk anymore. So I understand, I relate, been there before, done that. So if there is anyone that would like to share, please know that we'd love to hear from you. Okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to ask Doug, Cantor Doug, I think it's okay to call you that, right? To come up, if you would, please, and bless us with a song, because one of the beautiful things is that we believe in the books, the Torah, the Injil, the Gospel, as well as the Quran. And so, with Doug's recitation in Hebrew, we actually get to hear a little bit of the book of Dawood right here from the cantor's mouth. So, am I imposing? I know I am, but do you mind?
Not anymore.
Good, good. Thank you. Would you please bless us with the song?
This will be something that you probably know in another language, but translated into English, it is, "We shall not make war anymore." And the version I'll sing for you goes like this. David, you can sing along if you'd like. Lo yisagoy el goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Yisagoy el goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama.
Thank you. I think we have to work on our sound system. It seems like I'm the only one that it works for. That's weird. We didn't plan it that way, I promise. It's such a blessing to have you all here tonight. If there's anyone else who would like to share, it's the last time we're going to offer the mic. It's the last call for the mic. If anybody wants to share. Otherwise, I am going to ask, would you do a Buddhist prayer for us? Would I be imposing on you?
Okay.
We like to be all-inclusive here, and so this will give you an opportunity to hear a prayer from a Buddhist. So.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm actually a Nichiren Daishonin Buddhist, and so I will be chanting the first chapter of the Lotus Sutra. Sorry. Nam yo ringe kyo, nam yo ringe kyo, nam yo ringe kyo, myo ringe kyo, open pondai ni. Niji se sonju samai anjo niki go shari hatsujo buchi e jenjen murio gochi e man nange nan yui sai shoman yakusi furuno fu no shi shobi shaga buzuzo shingon yakusen nam nagamushu sho budadengo sho budamurio doho Union Shojen Yosho Fu Manjo Ju Jenjen Miso Uho Zwigi Sho to the Ishu Nange Sharihatsu Goju Jo Beteira Shuju and then Shuju Hiu Koen Gonkyo Mushu Hoben Indo Sho to the Jodi Shaga Norai Hoben Chicken Haramitaka Iko Shakasare Hatu Norai Chicken Koda Jendo Murio Muge Rigamo Sho Izenjo Gera Sama Junior Musa Joju Isa Shod Shari hata no rai no shunjong festival de show ho gongje nuna eka shushen shari hata shu yo gongche murio muhe miso uho bin shuda show no e show no ze so no ze shai no ze rigi no ze sa no ze en no ze ka no ze ho no ze hamma kyoto show we show ho no ze show no ze show no ze dai no ze rigi no ze sa no ze en no ze an no ze ka no ze ho no ze hamma kyoto show we show ho no ze so no ze show no ze dai no ze rigi no ze sa no ze en no ze an no ze ka no ze ho hamma kyoto. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo means Nam is devotion and Myoho Renge Kyo is to the law of cause and effect. So.
Wow. I'd like to open up a few, for just a few minutes of questions. Some of you might have seen something at the masjid or the mosque that you've never seen before and you wondered what was going on. So if you have any questions, you can ask them now. Anyone have any questions? Yes?
Well, we went to prayer. There was, it's not a poster, but a cloth, and it had something on it. What is it?
Yes. Okay, what that clock is it tells us the time of the 5 daily prayers.
No,
in Arabic. Cloth.
In the prayer section, there's a cloth that's blocking the window to look down.
Okay.
The 99 names of Allah.
Okay, that just happens to have the 99 names of Allah on it in Arabic, but you might not ever go to another masjid and see that. It just so happens that it's a decorative ornament in the women's section of our masjid, but you may not see that anywhere else. We have one hanging in our house. Many people have them hanging in their houses, so we actually have one as well. Good question. Anybody else have questions? I want to share something beautiful. I see Pastor Stroud back there. Let's go ahead. What's your question?
Yes, thanks. That was very nice. That's the first time I've prayed in the mosque. And I noticed there was a voice that was exactly, what was that? Could you translate that in English?
Yes.
Prayer?
I don't remember what surah that our Hafiz recited from tonight, but that young man actually memorized the whole Quran when he was 13 years of age. He is now 16. And that was the voice of a 16-year-old that has memorized all 6,636 verses of the Quran.
We have in this community right here a Hifz school, right in this building. And we have produced around 35 young people that have memorized the whole Quran. And they do not speak Arabic, but their enunciation is absolutely perfect. If an Arab was listening to them, they would know exactly what they were saying. So we're very proud of our Hifz students here. It's just amazing to watch them, how Sheikh Tariq works with them predominantly and develops them, and they memorize the whole Quran. It is the most memorized book in the world, actually in the Arabic. And most of the people that have memorized it it's Arabic is not their mother language. I lived in South Africa from 80 to 86. South Africa is one of the largest producers of Hafiz, and Hafiz is the person who has memorized the whole Quran. And my wife and the sister back there, you can't tell they're from South Africa. That's why they were family. So any other questions? Anything that you might have seen? Yes, David?
Yeah, I noticed that for me getting in the men's sections in a wheelchair was okay. What about the ladies?
What about the ladies? Well, in our particular masjid, what we typically do if we have a lady in a wheelchair or a lady with some disabilities, there is a small room in the back where the men's section is, and we arrange for her to be able to go in there and make sure no men bother her. So that's what we do. We just have to know so we can prepare in advance. Hopefully when we do our expansion, we won't have that problem. We'll have an elevator or something so that we don't have those challenges. That's my prayer anyway. I'm planting my seeds. And Ijaz is making notes. He's our great architect guy. He drew up the plans for our new masjid. May Allah bless you, brother. And I want to thank all the volunteers tonight, the young folks, the middle-aged folks, and the old folks that helped us tonight. And I hope you'll still speak to me after I put it that way. But the whole masjid comes together for this event. It's so beautiful. When I first presented it 5 years ago that I wanted to do this, just everybody wanted to help. So much so that one year it was like a spectator event. And we had so many people here, we were afraid the fire marshal was going to come. And we had to clear people out because everybody wanted to see what this was about. And so we're just so grateful that you're here and so honored by your presence. I'm so thankful to God. I want to share something very personal tonight. I had a stroke on the 27th of November, and I was given less than a 1% chance to recover. In February, I was in a wheelchair. And tonight, I was able to make sujood for the first time.
I saw that.
And the beauty of that is that I was inside David. I think it's so neat that there was my Jewish brother on my right and my Christian brother on my left, and that was the first time that I made, well, the second time. I made sujood on Sunday, demonstrating at the Methodist church what sujood looked like, and my wife almost fainted when she saw me go into sujood because she thought I wasn't going to be able to get up. And I was not the one that did that advert, I've fallen, I can't get up.
And he got up just fine, but one more bow, I was going to have to lift him up. I think I was going to have to lift him up.
But I just think it's beautiful that tonight it would have happened. It's just very, very touching in my heart that I was able to muster the strength tonight to complete that. And just for those, just to share with those who were not with us on Sunday, when we actually pray, we first stand in this position, which is the position of Aleph in Arabic. And then we go into what is called Ruku', and it's like this, and that's the lamb in Arabic. And then we go Aleph. And then when we go into that prostrating position, it's the Ha. So we actually spell the name of God. We spell Allah in our very body postures when we're praying. So that is, to me, such a sign of God, such a sign of total surrender and submission to God. And then I had the blessing last night. One of my dear students and brothers is going to be leaving us and going to Michigan to school, Brother Kareem, over here in the blue shirt. He's looking very shy all of a sudden. But he asked me, Imam, I know that this is the month of Ramadan, but before I leave, I'd like to take you out to dinner. And so last night, he took me out to dinner, And I said afterwards I'd like to treat everybody to coffee at Starbucks, and they didn't give me anything for that plug, by the way. But we went to Starbucks, and Brother Ahmed drove up in this really beautiful Zudi car, and we all began a conversation about this car that he drives. Did I say it right, brother? Yeah. It's an electric car. It's really neat. And I'm all into environment. So we had to ask him, and lo and behold, he's my Muslim brother. We began a conversation, and there was an Iraqi soldier there. He was an American soldier that was in Iraq, okay? Thank you. My wife always keeps me straight. 29 years, she doesn't let me off. Okay. So just what I wanted to say was this gentleman was listening to our conversation, and he came over and we had a conversation for 3 hours about Islam. So people are hungry to learn. I go along with what many of you said. People are hungry to learn the truth and to be free by not being suspicious. So we want to continue to open our doors so that people are not suspicious. This is Brother Joshua, and he's passing out gifts for you. We'd like you to have a translation of the Holy Quran. This is a little gift for you from us. We love you all for the sake of God. We thank you for being here. There are some desserts over here. Imagine that. There's some desserts on the table. So we'd like you to help yourself with some desserts and just enjoy fellowship. Enjoy the company around your table. Feel free to move from one table to the next and get to know somebody else. Thank you again for being here. Good night.